Hello and welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a sort of a review, but I don't really do reviews, so I guess it's my opinion on this piece of kit, right? So this is the Helikon-Tex small first aid pouch. If anybody's interested in the model number, here it is. They do make one in polyester and they do make one in nylon. I chose the polyester one. They do make different colorations. I chose a red one because this is for EDC. It's a fairly small pouch compared to my large sized hands. It's not very big. So it fits well in my my man purse, or it fits well in my bag as well. My book bag, right? It's quite capable, but it's lacking in some aspects, and I will touch upon those. But firstly, we will just have an overview of the pouch here. In the front, you have Velcro, right? Or hook and loop kind of material with a first aid mark here, so you can find it even in the dark because it is reflective. You can shine your light on it. I do this on my trauma kit, on my shears, as well as the kit itself, so I can find it. And here they have done it for me, so that is great. As I've said, the coloration is bright red and it's really nice, and it goes well with the brown trim which is on it. It has a loop on top for attaching with a carabiner or for carrying. It also has a loop down below for, I don't really know what to use this one for, but it's there, right? Any suggestions in the comment section for what we can use this little loop here for, feel free to share your input. The zippers are nice and strong, and the pulls are nicely done with a burnt cordage there, and also a nice rubbery thing on them, right? And finally, we can talk about the attachment system here, which is a kind of a molly thing which they have in their lineup. Helikon-Tex does this sort of their own thing, right? And I'm not really thrilled about this. It's a little bit short for the pouch, so it keeps pulling the pouch in. And it's also very thick. It's very thick material, very heavy duty, much more heavy duty than the pouch itself. So it adds, in my opinion, unnecessary bulk and unnecessary weight. For my uses as a EDC pouch, I would really just prefer to see a belt loop on the back here, and that's it, right? That would be my preferred system. It would save some weight, it would save some bulk, and it will be more pliable, the entire pouch, right? But how it works is they have a very stiffened, I guess, webbing here, which goes underneath this webbing, and then it stays in place, so you can put it on a belt and you can web it onto whatever you want to put it on, right? So it's really modular in that sense, but it's too much for my use. Okay, your uses might differ. So let's pull her open and see what we got inside. So this will also talk a little bit about what I carry in my kit currently, right? Before we open her, when I first got it, I carried a 4-inch T3 Israeli bandage, and it just fits. It's going to show it here. It just fits, right? But it doesn't fit much else if you put this one in. Shout out to my buddy half-assed astronaut. He has also one of these kits. He's no longer carrying it because he upgraded to a different type of pouch, but he used to carry his Israeli in there, but without the outer wrapping. I like to keep the outer wrapping on, so it really becomes quite stuffed in there. Following carrying this one, because it really was putting a lot of stress on the stitching, I swapped over to this. This is the Israeli field dressing. Okay, much less capable, but still a quite good dressing. But then again, here I do not get packing gauze, here I do not get an elastic. So what I was doing is I was carrying this one in my bag as well, separately. And that's kind of, you know, taking away from the purpose, right? And I do carry a tourniquet. This is the rats in a Ziploc bag, which I carry in an accessible spot in my bag. Separate from the kit, right? I could of course attach it on the front here with some Velcro looping. That could work, right? But that becomes very bulky in that sense, and maybe I could attach it on the side somehow, but I just carry it separate in an easily accessible place, right? And of course there are other tourniquets as well. If you have a TK4, it would fit in here. Maybe a SWAT would fit in here, but it really limits what else you can fit in your first aid kit if you put a tourniquet in this particular pouch. So I carry mine separate. My current setup in this kit, as you see here, is gloves, triangular bandage, crepe elastic bandage. So the thought here is the triangular bandage works very well as a wound pad, right? A large pad to put on a wound to deal with venous bleeding and capillary bleeds. It can also be used as packing material, packing from the corners into a wound. So that is great. I think it's really more versatile than a piece of compressed gauze, because to use this one under stress as a simple pressure bandage is much easier than to use the compressed gauze. I saw a video on Skinny Medic's channel where he did his, this real life commentary on real incidents, and you see this cop which has shot a homeowner, and then he's trying to, deal with the bleeding, and he has the compressed gauze. And he takes it out, he opens the packet, he fumbles with it, right? Because compressed gauze is really compact and you really need to get at it to start pulling it out, to start packing. And the situation was quite aggravated. So he simply just takes the small thing of compressed gauze and just puts it on the wound, right? And that is not ideal. It's much better if you're just going to put something on it, you have something like this. It's better like that. It's easy to get to start packing. And you can also use it as a sling. So triangular bandage. And then we have the crepe bandage. It can be used for knees, sprains, strains, ankles, for a compression bandage. With this one, you wrap it over. Again, for a less serious bleed. And of course, there is a difference here, right? There's a different ideology. This is self-application from traumatic injury, right? That's the Israeli bandage. It's when you need to move, right? That's why you need something like this elastic, which compresses, where you can try to reduce the bleeding while you move, or do, other assessments, doing, multiple traumatic injury to a person, or you have multiple injured. This can be useful. In everyday life, what you want to do is, if you have a venous bleed, you want to put manual pressure, right? You want to lean over it and you want to put pressure. It will give better pressure manually like that than you will achieve with this one. And if you really want to, if you're alone, for example, you can take a rock, you place it in one of the top layers here on the point of bleeding, and then you wrap it with a cohesive, so then you get a really on the point of bleeding pressure, right? That's a way of doing things. But honestly, you want to put manual pressure, or you want to pack it, or you want to use a tourniquet. This is just extra for when you might need it, right? Or to secure this one for going to the doctors if it's not that serious, right? So that's why we have, tourniquet, and that's why we know how to wound pack. Okay, after wound packing as well, you can wrap with this one. That's a good idea. But still, preferably manual pressure, but on yourself, you might want to secure it with elastic, because you might, due to blood loss, lose strength and all that. There are several methods to do this. Just train with what you got, right? On the inside of this kit, you will find 2 mesh zippered pockets with some corded bolts. And in one I have medication, the other ones I have band-aids, CPR shield, and another pair of gloves. Of course, there are other things here like candy, there are nuke pills in here, there's a tampon, there's a little bit of eye wash liquid here, primarily for just rinsing out small wounds and such. I'm just testing it out to carry it, this saline solution, tiny bottle, to see if it leaks or not in this kit. Just testing it out. So these 2 mesh pockets here can fit quite a lot of stuff, and then of course you have space in the middle to put large items. What I would like to see is one side changed for a elastic pocket, where I can put things from the top and down, an open elasticated pocket where I can just put my bandages in one side, where I don't have to access this zipper thing to get to my bandages. Half-assed astronaut, he had done one where he had added his own loop, just a simple loop, to attach his Israeli dressing, so he could simply flip it out of the way and just not lose it on the ground whenever he needed to access his kit. And I think that's a pretty good idea, but I would really prefer to just have one side with elastic pocket, other side with zipper pocket, and it would be just great, okay? So Helikon-Tex, if you're listening in, feel free to do those alterations to your kit, right? Elastic pocket here, just a simple belt loop here, and then this kit would be really great, right? It's already a great kit, because there are very few kits which really are this compact and fits this EDC kind of kit niche, at least for me, where it fits in a purse, a sub 10 liter purse. And that's of course both for women and guys out there. More men are carrying satchels now, tablet bags, tablet crossbody bags, that sort of thing. So a kit which kind of fits that size niche, which has the capability, right, and the size to fit the items which you want. There are not many out there, so this one is a good one. Check them out, Helikon-Tex. They have lots of different things which they make and sell in bags and gear. Let's try to shine some light on the logo there, Helikon-Tex. So yeah, the Helikon-Tex first aid pouch. Great pouch, not very expensive either. Fits the EDC niche and has some cool features. And is an overall good buy. Recommended. So, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye bye.